It's been about 4 months since I last made a video on a guild, or I suppose you could say faction in the Witcher universe, so when I saw this suggestion from this user, I thought that this actually seems like quite a fun video to make. Anyway, as I'm sure you can tell by the title of today's video, I've decided to make today's video on the Salamandra. Some of you watching may have absolutely no idea who or what the Salamandra are, and this is most likely due to the fact that the Salamandra only briefly appear in The Witcher 2, and their appearance in The Witcher 3 is even more brief. So, to explain, the Salamandra were a criminal organization led by the sorcerer Azar Javid. Azar Javid was a Zerrikanian sorcerer and alchemist, but I'll talk briefly about him later. The Salamandra were mainly active in the Northern Kingdoms, at least as far as we know, and most, if not all of their main bases, were in Temeria. This group is very much a bandit group, but I suppose you could say they're a little bit more professional and organized than the average group of bandits. For example, within their ranks include assassins, lackeys, masked warriors, commanders, and mages. They also appear to have a hierarchy, with small groups of Salamandra being led by bosses, who in turn answer to the main leaders of this organization. Speaking of the leaders of this organization, there is of course their overall leader, Azar Javid, but there are also a few more leaders that are slightly lower than the sorcerer in the hierarchy, and I'll discuss them after I've briefly talked about Azar Javid. So Azar Javid was, as I said before, a Zerrikanian sorcerer. He was very powerful, and I do actually plan to make a video on him in the future, so I'll talk about him properly then, but just for now that's all you really need to know. He's the leader of the Salamandra, and he's very powerful. So for the other leaders, there is of course the Professor, who yet again I won't get fully into today, but just know he was a leader of the Salamandra and an assassin. You can actually buy his glasses in The Witcher 3. Next, there is Roland Bleinheim, who was the leader of the Salamandra operations in the swamps. He would kidnap brickmakers and force them to gather Begatic for Fistek production. There is also Gellert Bleinheim, who was the brother of Roland. He was the leader of the Salamandra operation in the sewers beneath the capital of Temeria, Vizima. Geralt eventually crosses paths with both of these brothers, the first in the swamps and the next in the sewers, and he defeats them. There are also named members of the Salamandra, which I will briefly discuss now. To begin with, there is Savola. I'm not entirely sure if this mage was a leader similar to the Professor, but he is powerful enough to control a Frightener. This member is eventually defeated during the attack on Kaer Morhen by either Triss or Geralt. Triss states that Savola is ambitious and insane. All the characters I've mentioned so far were characters from The Witcher 1. These next characters are the members, or I suppose you could say remnants, of the Salamandra that you meet in The Witcher 2. To begin with, there is Dimitri, who at first appears to be a simple bandit, but is later revealed to be a member of the Salamandra. Along with Dimitri, there is Wenzel Pug and Louise Merce. Wenzel Pug is a Fistek dealer, and you are actually able to visit his lab. He even mentions to Geralt that he dealt with Roland, and Roland was the person who led the Salamandra in the swamps in The Witcher 1. Louise Merce is the royal burgomaster. He was originally from Vizima, but moved to Flotsam due to some unknown trouble. He is also the cousin of Bernard Laredo. He is responsible for posting contracts and offering rewards for dealing with various monster issues. It is later revealed to Geralt that Louise is involved in local Fistek trafficking and that he was covering for criminals like Dimitri. All of this is revealed in the item Report for Tala, which I will read to you all now. Report for the Temerian Secret Service. I've no idea who's the worst liar, Laredo or his kin. Merce. Brought here to the office of Castellan after the scandal in Vizima. Not one thing in their reports is true. Dimitri is alive, the elves are well off, Iorveth has not left, and has even made a deal with some Witcher. Furthermore, it seems Laredo brought some remnants of the Salamandra here, as if the money he gets from fraud is not enough. The question of why the commander isn't afraid of the capital's wrath begs an answer. Even excluding the fact that Laredo uses the chaos caused by Foltest's death to his advantage, he is plotting high treason. I've no idea what his goal is, and I've no intention of finding out. Send a real spy here. It doesn't suit my nerves. Cy Earwig. There is also another person in The Witcher 2 relating to the Salamandra, this person being the soldier known as Gavrilo. This soldier can be found in the Kedweni camp during chapter 2. He recognizes Geralt and confesses that he used to work for the Salamandra, and was thankful that Geralt spared him. I've mentioned this briefly throughout the video, but as I'm sure most of you already know, this group is most famous for its dealings with Fistek. Fiztech acted as the main source for this group's income, and if you have no idea what Fiztech is, I'd recommend going to the video I made on it, but very basically, it's a drug. This group was also supported by important individuals at different points. For example, the King of Redania, Radovid, provided them with money as a way of weakening Temeria. They also have a lot of association with the Order of the Flaming Rose. In fact, their leader, Azar Javid, answered to the leader of the Order of the Flaming Rose, Jaxter Aldersberg. This group also attacked Kaer Morhen at the start of The Witcher 1. They did this because they hoped to steal the secrets of the mutagenic substances and stimulants that were being closely guarded by the members of the School of the Wolf. During this attack, the wall of Kaer Morhen was breached and the Witcher Leo was killed. The Witcher secrets were also stolen. Just as a side note, the breach is actually still there in The Witcher 3 and can be repaired later in the story. I believe Geralt and Lambert even have a conversation about the Salamandra and how they breach Kaer Morhen when they first go out together, for I believe it's the Circle of the Elements quest. The reason this group actually wanted these secrets is because of a plan orchestrated by the leader of the Order of the Flaming Rose, Jaxter Aldersberg. Jax had a vision of the White Frost and hoped to use the secrets to mutate humans so they could live in the harsh world the White Frost would create. Jax also had other plans to do with the coming of the White Frost, but I will discuss them in another video. Probably a video where I actually cover this character in full. Following the attack on Kaer Morhen, almost the entire story of The Witcher 1 follows Geralt trying to not only recover the Witcher secrets, but also to stop this criminal organization. He follows them through the outskirts of Vizima, the swamps, the sewers of Vizima, and finally, Vizima itself. If you want to know that full story, I'd recommend simply playing The Witcher 1, or maybe you could just watch my playthrough if you don't want to play the game. I mentioned earlier about how this group does briefly appear in The Witcher 3. There are no known live members of this group that you can actually meet in The Witcher 3, but a note can be found in a troll's cave in the Valley of Kaer Morhen. I will read this note for you now. All those chosen by the Professor should be present outside the keep at the designated time. Tardiness, failure to bring the proper equipment, or insubordination will be punished with "We shall mount our principal attack on Kaer Morhen with our Frightener. Gaining mastery of the keep should not present much of a problem, for we have heard only a handful of witches remain in residence there. Therefore, you must make haste. A 50 orens reward awaits you for every mutant head you sever. Once we have taken the witch's secrets, we must separate in order not to attract attention. Every one of you will then be left to find your own way back to Vizima, where we will reunite. Azar Javid." Finally guys, to end today's video, I just wanted to discuss this group's logo. This group's emblem is simply a salamander, and it can be seen here. Most of the members of this group carry this emblem on an item known as a salamander brooch. Anyway guys, I hope you've all enjoyed today's Witcher lore video. I feel like this video, like a few of my other videos, has been a long time coming. People have asked for this for quite a while, but I just saw this comment recently, and I thought, you know what, it's been a while since I covered a group in the Witcher universe. I quite like this group, and it's quite different. It's kind of a throwback to The Witcher 1 and stuff, so I thought, you know, I just wanted to make today's video. But yeah, if you've enjoyed today's video, want to see more lore videos like it, or just want to help out the channel, I'd really appreciate you liking it. These videos take me a long time to do, and I really just appreciate every single one of you that likes today's video, as it genuinely does help out so much, so thank you to every single one of you that does that. If this is the first video you're finding on my channel, I do Witcher lore videos every week, I do a Witcher playthrough part every week. If you want to watch one and not the other, that's fair enough, but just subscribe if you don't want to miss those sort of videos. So thank you to all of you that are subscribed. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I do updates on there whenever anything interesting happens. I basically just tell you if anything's going on with the channel, if I want to show you some cool stuff, or if I just feel like saying something. So be sure to go and follow me on there if you're interested in that. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitch. I'll get some games on there soon, probably in July sometime. I'm pretty busy at the moment, but I'm going to try and do some in July, I think. I know that's quite a while, but if you follow me on Twitch, you'll get the notification for when I do go live. Also, be sure to join the Reddit and Discord. The Reddit's just pretty much a Reddit, and the Discord you can just sort of chat with people on there. You know, it's quite a fun thing. They're all in the description. Check it out if you just want to have some fun. There's a lot of people in the Discord. The Reddit's always fun. I have a little look on there, so be sure to check out the description if you're interested in those, along with everything else in this outro. Finally guys, as always, a big thank you to the Patreon pledges. You guys are honestly amazing, and you just help out the channel so much. I just want to say thank you to all of you again. I really do appreciate it, and you're all just awesome. So thank you all so much. I'm glad to put all of you at the end end of these videos. I say this every time, but I genuinely do mean it. It's just so kind. Thank you all so much. Anyway, guys, I hope you've all enjoyed today's Witcher lore video, learned something new, or just had a fun time looking at the visuals, listening to the audio. So yeah, thank you all so much anyway, and I'll see you all in the next Witcher lore video or whatever else you watch. Have an awesome rest of the week.